All right, guys, welcome to Monday Night Team Call. So super excited because tonight is a special call, our call before celebration, and we have two absolute rock stars on, Dr. Joshua and Lisa Dunsky. You guys, 5-star Golden Circle, 4-star Crystal Executives. They were the number 10 leader in action in 2018, so meaning like the most explosive growth. They were number 4 in the championship challenge. They've done the Shooting Star Award. Lisa has done Women of Isogenics. Josh, he was nominated for Spirit of Isogenics nominee in 2017. So just absolutely incredible. Guys, they have a lot of children as well too. I can barely keep up with 4-legged dogs. And Josh, he also just being a chiropractic physician, he's been practicing for over 20 years. He's brilliant in toxicity, just being deficient in things, obesity, stress, telomere science. I could go on and on. So I'm going to stop talking so they can share their story, and then I'm going to ask them some questions. And then if you guys have questions as we're going, feel free to put them in there. So I thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Is it 6 kids that you guys have?
5.
This is
5.
our Plebby, say hello. This is our oldest. He's 19. This is Plebby. Caleb.
Hi, family business. I love it. You guys share your story with us. How do you do everything too? But first, share your story.
So we started 7 years ago now. As you said, Casey, we have a clinic outside of Boston. The specialty in our clinic is neuropathy and spinal degeneration. We brought Product B back in the day, before it was Isogenesis, on board because of Dave MacArthur. We didn't even know there was a cleanse. We didn't know it was weight loss. It was the telomere science that really turned me on. And we said yes. And then the effect happened. We found out there was a cleanse and a program, and we got hooked. We got hooked. The product made such a profound difference in the clinic that everything else really got pushed aside. And we've been using high-level nutraceuticals for the 20 years we've been practicing. So that really launched us. The results in the clinic, Lisa had, phenomenal results right away, and it blossomed from there.
Yeah, completely. Thanks for letting me take it away. By
the way. That's how she takes it away. I cut her off.
Take it away. Okay, here we go. No, I did. I had an amazing physical transformation, and the cool part about it was that on the outside, no one thought there was anything going on. I was skinny, I looked fit, all that great stuff. But of course, any woman, when they hear about a weight loss plan or something, they're like, ooh, let me try it. Because as women, we're always looking for that next thing that's going to make us feel better or shave off a couple of pounds. And like you, Casey, I was living off of really bad stuff. I would drink, was it Monsters? Rockstar. Yeah. 2 of the big rock stars every day. Yeah, and basically that was it, because I'm like, this is how I'm going to stay skinny. So obviously it's very not too great inside. And when I first started, in a short period of time, I released 20 pounds, and you couldn't understand where it came from, because I was small already. And so that really helped me realize that there was something, unicorny in these products. It was a really big thing. And not only that, but walking around the clinic or bouncing around the clinic, I was glowing, and everybody's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, just this stuff that somebody told us about. And then it started to kind of take off. Like, we started to tell them about it, and they're like, oh. And then we got a PIB, and I'm like, oh. And then we told another person, we got a double PIB, and then a triple PIB, because that's what they had back then. And it kind of like dawned on us, like, oh my gosh, we have something here. And obviously, we're natural connectors, and people are ready. It was easy for us to just share it, and we never, ever felt like we were selling whatsoever. It did take us a little while to understand the business side and really wrap our head around being network marketers and sharing the opportunity. But when we got there, it really made a world of a difference. And it was just personal development, mindset, getting through that, initial phase of, oh, it's one of those things, because we all thought it. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. And what's good about that is we have the perspective. We can felt found, completely on that.
And just a note on that, and wondering if this is for us in terms of the business, the income is undeniable. So when people talk about another stream of income, okay, well, we know the products work, they're phenomenal. And we know the science behind it because we can see that. But now seeing this stream of income come in, it's like, why would we not look at that? And that's one of the biggest, I think, the threshold that really made us really look at this. Why is this money still coming in when we haven't seen this person? And, we understand leverage and we understand how network marketing works, but really for us, this became quite profound. It made us look at it. So,
and it also came into our lives at a time that we needed it. Josh and I, about 6 months after we started Isogenics, got pregnant with twins. Not me. I got pregnant with twins. I don't like when people say we got pregnant.
right.
Whatever. It was mostly me.
He was there.
I was a bystander.
He was my trusty assistant. But it is funny, but it's not. We had, for the 6 months leading up to it, we were building our foundation. We got to Crystal Executive in 4 months. We saw it. We saw the vision and we went for it, and we locked arms with a bunch of, really good people. And then my pregnancy went south and we ended up having our twins 3 months early. I was only 6 months pregnant and I was in and out of the hospital trying not to have the babies, and he had to keep closing the clinic down and starting over and rehiring people because they would quit. So we had a really rough 5 months because the babies were in the NICU for 4 months and I was in the, it was just a long period of time where income for a self-employed family was not, guaranteed because we had to take care of what was important and nothing else mattered. But if you don't turn the key, you don't make the money. And Josh was at the hospital with me and I certainly wasn't there. So during that time, our Isogenics income was still coming in. And that was a big deal for us because we were in the NICU and there was people losing their jobs, losing their houses, having to decide whether they stayed in the NICU for their maternity leave or they waited until their children came home. And those choices, those decisions were wrong. Like we were like, this is wrong. Something's wrong here. People were losing their children even. They've already lost their job. They lost their house. They're now losing their children. It's like, how much stress can you put a family under when they don't need that? And so we are absolutely on a mission to help people make choices. And it doesn't matter what your choices are, what circumstance you're in. Everybody has shit storms that show up in their life. I'm sorry for swearing, but everybody has it. Everybody has those moments where your life just takes a turn and you're like, oh, and it's a life-changing moment. And if you have this backup plan, really, at the time it was for us, and now it's our, major plan. But if you have this, and you have that little safety net, because I'm sorry, I worked corporate for a long time, that was no safety net. And frankly, never did I feel that way. I got fired from almost every one of them because I don't like to conform either. But it wasn't a safety net. Yeah. That's why we're all here, entrepreneurs. We love, we got to be our own boss. But it was really clear that we had something here. Not only did we love it and it's fun and it's bringing us all around the world and we get to meet awesome people, but we have a gift that people need. People fall ill, and we want to take care of our parents. We want to take care of our kids. We want to be able to have that choice. And so we want to make sure we offer that choice. And like Casey, like you shared with us on our call, that new associate interview is a big deal because you need to let people know what's available. If you're not letting them know what's available, you're kind of not doing your job. You're not earning the PIB that you got by enrolling them, frankly.
Absolutely. And because we saw, oh, go ahead, Casey, sorry.
Your story, just hearing that and just that choice, I can hear the passion behind your voice about making sure, people know that they can have a choice. Like, I love that.
Yeah. It's so important because we don't grow up really with all that choices. We're told what to do. We're told how to do it. You know, we're told what path we're supposed to be on. You know, go to school, go to college, learn how to make bills and pay bills. And that's pretty much what we're, you know, unless you have entrepreneurial parents who say, yes, let's enlighten this a little bit, and let's find your passion and let's work with that. You know, my parents weren't.
You know, that became such a big deal for us. You know, people in the clinic, you know, we're using the nutrition. People still contact us for, you know, nutritional guidance and science. And to be honest with you, I love what I do in the clinic. We are loud and proud about this business because of what we've been through. I don't approach people, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong. You have to feel out your prospect. You have to find out what they want. But I purposely go after people for the retirement option, for the plan B, for the 3 to 5 year exit strategy. Whatever I put in front of them, I want to show them the opportunity is the point. So we are loud and proud about the opportunity. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. And we used to think, or I used to think, well, this guy's making 225 a year. He doesn't need it. Or this person's very successful. And that's baloney, because none of us know what they're going through financially. Doesn't matter what kind of car they drive. We don't know, you know, what their cash flow looks like. And so those conversations actually became easier and easier when we realized everybody needs it. It's up to them to make the decision. You know, it's not up to us. It's just up to us to share it. But now we're loud and proud about the business. And that's what excites me. That's what I love talking about, is this opportunity. Let me show you. And I love, Casey, how you said drawing circles. That's what we do. It's very rare we go to a meal or go meet with someone for a drink and there's not circles all over the counter, because
I want to write it off.
Because it's so simple to show the opportunity and let them decide, and we stopped making it about us and more about them, and it became fun.
Circles. I love the circles. You guys too. I mean, you have a lot of things going on, moving parts and kids and business. And I mean, you know, still to be constantly, you know, your team is growing, you're enrolling. Like, what does a day for you guys look like?
So
you want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So we go through those, as we talked about, those throttle periods where we're all in. And right now, you know, Lisa and I are coaching 2 groups in our team. It's kind of a, you know, group of 5 and one of 6 and 7 people who want to run. And then we work with the others in a more general fashion. But right now we're in that kind of thrust. So we had at one point calls every night, and I'm still practicing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. We're doing this. We do calls in the morning. We're kind of in go mode right now. But you have to pull the throttle back too, or you will burn out. You will shrivel up and end up in the gutter somewhere if you don't. You just can't keep up that momentum. But those momentums, as Casey, well, listen, Casey, I mean, we look up to you. You're the business and what you've done. You understand those 90-day game plans, those short periods of thrust. It's so much more painful to do it slowly, right? So you go hard for 90 days, go hard for 30 days. Do your 20 and 30. We've done that a few times. Eric Warren, a couple times we hit it, a couple times we missed, and we enrolled 17, right? So how is that a bad month? It's a great month. It doesn't matter if you hit your goal. It's the effort that you put in. And I don't remember what the question was.
A day in
So right now we schedule.
Yeah, this question.
If you looked at our books, we have our prospecting numbers down. We have, you know, our follow-up numbers down. We have our number of exposures down, and we go hard. And then we also schedule our time too, because this business will rip relationships apart and it can glue them back together. It depends. I believe it's the schedule. You've got to give your husband, your wife, your kids specific time, non-negotiable time. You got to give your dentist, your hairdresser. You've got to, if you itemize your schedule, you can do this business even if you put in an hour a day. You can absolutely kill the business. But not knowing where I'm going next, that's how I used to function.
Yeah, I mean, we plan, do review. You're facing one way in our office, but the other side has all of our names of people, their ranks. We have an executive board. We have our millionaire thermometer over here. We've got how many enrollments we want for the month, whatever the contest is. I've still got the, you know, Sweeter with Friends one up with our tally marks. We sit down every Monday, except we cheated today. We're sitting down in a minute. We sit down and we go over our goals for the week. Because if we don't do that, we have no navigation. We're in a car with no GPS and a roadmap that's like upside down and torn, and we don't know what to do because we have no path to follow. So we write down our cycle goal for the week. We write down how many rank advancements, consultants, managers, directors, executives. We write down who we want to enroll. how many. We write down our PET goal, our PET cycle goal, our personal cycle goal. We write everything down. We schedule. We have our phone schedules. We have a shared schedule, but then we have our Isgenics planner. That thing is amazing. If you don't have one, get it now. Get 4 of them. No, don't get 4. Just get one. Focus on one thing. But that is so amazing because you just, I mean, when you fill up your calendar and you know what you're doing, it is like clockwork. You can get more done than you ever thought you could. And I mean, we have 5 kids. He's got a very busy practice. I'm running around like a mad lady all day long, and I've still got to do this work too. And that for most people is like, how do you do that? And it's like, you just got to schedule it. If you don't schedule it, you don't do it. And he's so right about personal time. When we weren't scheduling time together, we were not together. We were scheduling meetings. We were doing calls, and we didn't do this, and that can break things down. And that's not good because as your income goes up, things get more stressful. And if you're not making sure that this is all set, stuff's going to get funky.
You know, I think, Casey, too, people don't, and you may find different, but the more people we talk to and coach, most people don't really understand that this is a powerful business, that they're the CEO of their own business. This is a real bona fide business. And if you don't know numbers and you don't look at your schedule and you don't look at these reports, we teach our team about these reports in the back office. We show them how to pull them up and look at them and read them. But if you don't treat it like a business, it's maybe not so much of a business. It's more of a hobby. And so people want the business, but they don't know how to actually schedule their lives for the week. And that is super important, super important. We are sitting on a 6- and 7-figure business, no doubt. It's a 7-figure business for everybody if they want it. But still, you see people say they want it, but they have no list. They have no list of names. How do you know your follow-ups? And I'm guilty as sin in the past of not having a compass, not having those lists to work off, right? I think we all transparently have been there.
Hot Mess Express.
But you can fix it tomorrow morning. You fix it. And it can change. And then you start to see your numbers and you track how many people did I talk today. I use a yellow highlighter for how many people I enroll in a week, a pink one for 3-way calls, a blue one for reach out. So I can quickly open up a week and I'm like, yeah, I like those highlights, or that was a crappy highlight week. You know, I better do something different. And so you can see it. Yeah. And so for those of you that have ever owned your own business or do you own your own business, you have to look at P&L sheets. You got to look at cash flow. These are the numbers, and you have it right in front of you if you just apply it. So it becomes more structured and I think easier to do, simpler.
Oh, for sure. As you go, it definitely, it's just like with anything in the beginning. I'm sure, as a chiropractor, your first, year being then it gets easier. Running your own business, you learn the things. And, I think for some reason in this business, it's like we don't want to apply traditional business laws to it. So many businesses hope to break even with profit in their first 3 years, and all the overhead, the risk, the schooling, all of those things that go into it. And so to have like the realistic, understanding that this does have those, moving parts too, but the main thing, eat it, love it, share it, connect, those basics. So super scheduled. And I know, our top enrollers that I always see on our list, I mean, their system is very similar to what you're describing as well too, just with the tracking and everything like that too. And what, as far as, would you say, oh, we're super balanced all the time, or that really is something that you guys do, with taking that foot off? I know for me personally, I went through a burnout, my body shut down. I mean, it was crazy, but luckily had passive residual income and learned from that. But just with family time and with the kids, like, do you sit down and do you communicate, like, what that is for your kids? Or, I'm so into like present moment living. And so like when you're with your kids, or, when you're doing this, you're doing this, and not having like that interrupted time. Do you feel like that you're more effective in those bursts of individual time?
Yeah. So
I'm going to let her answer this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Are you really going to?
Yes.
Sit on
it.
Yeah. Like you said, like when you go through burnout, you learn, right? So it's a process always. There's moments where our kids are like, you're always on a call. You're always in a meeting. Will you play with me? And then there's moments where like, ugh, you guys are annoying me. You're in our faces too much. Like, go do a call, like get out of here. And then we have those moments with our kids. Our older ones do get it and understand. But the little ones, we have to be like, mommy's on this call so that I can afford to buy you Legos. So if you want the Legos, mommy's going to finish this call and you got to stop coming in here talking. So, the conversation is different between, what age they are, but it does depend on, if they're home or if they're not, and then having that structured time. We have a very weird lifestyle. So Josh is in the clinic Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so our family life is a little bit different those days, but then Josh is home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we have great time with our family. We could probably carve out a little bit more for the family, but we're doing this for our family as well. And so Carrie MacArthur told me this once: don't let your kids be your excuse, have them be your reason. And, we've gone through moments where we're like, oh, we can't do this because of the kids. And then, well, we have to do this because of the kids. And it's just that fine balance where whatever works for your family is really what it is. And scheduling is, until we really embrace that, it was all kinds of crazy and messy. We still got stuff done, but not as much as we do now. And now, yes, much more productive when we're having those moments. I love our Monday meetings. We do everything. We do our personal stuff. We do our meeting stuff. We talk about our budget, because a lot of times, husbands and wives will let that go and not be in touch with that. And that's a huge deal, especially as your business grows. And then learning how to, work with the ebbs and flows too. And that's huge. Communication is just a big deal. So.
Everything. Carrie and Dave, so many of us really have followed Dave for a long time. Mechanic to Millionaire, those podcasts. We absolutely love the MacArthurs so much. And what was kind of a difference? Were you guys always into the mindset development, goal setting? What kind of difference would that make? Or for somebody who's new and, they're trying to learn the skill sets, the basics of network marketing versus mindset, belief, personal development, what's y'all's secret on that?
Yeah, it's super important. It goes hand in hand. There's no doubt that it's an essential part. The problem that we see is when people get stuck in the personal development wheel, they're not in action also, and that can be devastating to someone's business, and we see that. So that's the dangerous part. But you need all aspects. You have to develop yourself. Your goals will only be as big as your development, and vice versa too. So it's super important. We're definitely involved with that. Mind and body. Dave taught us the majority of this stuff, and then we expanded from there. But we don't get stuck there. We make it an important element, but it's not. It's part of the engine. It's simply part of the engine. We're still prospecting. We still enroll. We still support. We still pour love. But we understand the ratio. We understand if we're not exposing a certain number of people a week, the exposures and follow-ups, I think, are the two most important part of your business. Yes, you need to prospect. Yes, you need to pour love and support. Some people pour love for 3 hours a day. They get stuck in Facebook and Instagram, that black hole, and they're not reaching out to new people. They're not connecting. You got it. Exactly. So that's the part. And that's why, so that's why knowing your numbers. We all know that move. So knowing your numbers is important. Why is my business not moving forward? Why am I not hitting the cycles? Oh, because I'm pouring love to 70 people today instead of get my exposures done, get my follow-ups, and then I do my important pour loves. And I'm not saying this is right. Everybody's got their own momentum. I think whatever formula you're using, as long as you see growth, keep doing it if it's working. But I think you can get caught in that development world if you're not careful.
You can.
No doubt about it.
You definitely can, but there is such a huge piece there that, we didn't realize the gift that we'd be given aside from that nutrition, right? That culture, that community, that thing that happened in our body, in our brain, that we're like, whoa, I'm such a better person than I used to be. And it's not because I'm healthy. It's not because I ate these products. It's because I have become immersed in this culture of people wanting to improve themselves all the time, with the body, with the mind. And you become this person that you don't recognize, but it's so good. One of the best things I have ever experienced and talk about a lot is when we were in a leadership meeting once, and I think it was Eric Worre or David Wood, it doesn't matter who it was. They said, everybody in the room, stand up if you would give all the money back for the person you've become. Every single person in that room stood up. And I still have goosebumps every time I say it, because holy cow, you do not want to know who I used to be. I was not a nice person. And that personal development, I was not nice. I was very, very victim, very scorned, very angry at the world. And it's a process to get to a different place. But when you realize that you're not that person that you identified yourself as, it's amazing the doors that open, the relationships that can happen, the business that comes your way. I mean, if you've ever had those moments where you're having a really crappy week, you're like, I don't talk to anybody, and nobody calls you. You don't get any private messages. You're like, oh, my business sucks too. Everything. I'm just gonna, wallow. And then the next week, like something great happens on Monday, and you're in this great mood. And then all of a sudden you get all these messages. Hey, I want to start your program. You're still doing that thing, right? And you're like, yes. And like, it's a totally different week. But the way you show up is the vibe that you bring back. So it's, Dave. Oh, this is the best one. Dave taught us this one thing once, because we were wallowing in something, and but that energy that you give out is huge. And if you don't have that personal development, you're not going to be able to understand that. But we were like bummed out because our team wasn't growing, and we're like, why isn't anybody doing anything? Don't they see this? They all said they wanted it. They all said, let's run. They're all, wrote their name and date on the 90-day game plan, but then put it on the shelf, and we're like, they've been with us for this long. What are they doing? So we called Dave, and he's like, listen, why are you worried about them? The people who are going to ignite your team are not even in your business yet. Go out and find your new class, your new team. And it was just so on point, and it just like flipped our mindset, and we're like, hello, like you can't do CPR in a morgue, right? You can't push a rope. You can't, what did you say? It's easier to give birth than to raise the dead.
Love that. That was great.
I don't know, but still, it's just, mindset can really just flip everything for you. And like, oh my God, what you said on that call, about if you're in a funk, is it because you need more personal development, or it's because you're not in action? Those two things are kind of like, yin and yang, and you've just got to check in and remind yourself of that, and get to a UIA. That's what I say.
Huge.
I love UIA. Oh, and we're coming up with time. We had a couple questions. What do you mean, like, by exposures? Like, is that presenting, or is that connecting? So what do you mean by exposures? And then also, how many people are you, like, prospecting a week for the
Awesome. First of all, I want to say hi to Dr. Joe Boggs. I just saw in there. Hey, Doc. I didn't know it was you under that hat. I like your hat. So exposures, exposures are actually me showing someone the opportunity. So it's not connecting. It's not, we use, something called the cake recipe, Jackson Parr term, that the cake recipe of going through a series of questions. There's, to get to know someone, it's that relationship building, connecting the bridge. But an exposure is actually, I'm going to show Jennifer the business. I'm going to show Paul the business, because I've already connected with them. I understand what they're looking for. And then I'm showing them. So it's a presentation or exposure. It could be 2 minutes, could be 3 minutes. It's not a, get in front of the room for an hour presentation. I'm going to present to you what I think is going to help you. And that's, of course, after I got to know them. So there's a step-by-step process that we go through. What was your next question? I'm sorry.
How many people then are you prospecting? So not exposures then, but then prospecting, like adding to your network.
Per day?
Per week, on average.
It depends what mode we're in. We sit down and we come up with goals for people. So if someone wants to, if they're really in full throttle and they're exposing, it depends on how many hours a day. So, people that are going gangbusters, they're exposing 30, 40 people, prospecting 40 or 30 people, messaging them, trying to connect with them and get into a conversation with them. Could be a week, could be a day. So it's just different for everybody.
Like for example, when we do 20 and 30, we're reaching out to at least 60 people a day, just to get those numbers correct, because in order to get someone to reach back out to you, to have the opportunity to talk to them, and then to have that meeting, and then of the people that you do meet with, the percentage that do say yes. So it's numbers. It's just understanding your numbers and crushing them. And that's beast mode. We can't function.
Yeah.
We don't live there. But
that's full throttle.
Yeah, but over the years, we've realized like what you need to do, how to maximize that time instead of just sitting there and like trying to just talk to every single person you possibly can every day. If you just know your numbers and you just work on that, it's just conceptually feels better and is not as exhausting.
We in one of the coaching groups, both of them now, we said, listen, however you're going to expose 3 people a day, you're going to expose 3 follow-ups. So however you need to get there, get there. So if you need to call 10 people to talk to them, to actually present, and this is not in the same conversation. This is, okay, Wednesday I'm going to connect with Pete because I already talked to Pete a little bit. I caked him, found out what he's looking for. And then, so are you familiar with the cake recipe?
I was going to say, please tell me what cake means.
Okay, so basically it's a series of questions, about 8 or 9 questions that, and I've been doing this a long time in my clinic because I have a concierge practice where I'll cash. But Jackson Park termed it the cake recipe because you need certain elements in a recipe in order to get the outcome. It's a way of removing the psychological blocks that happen in people's minds when you're exposing them to an opportunity. So people will say, they'll use the excuses of their husband, their wife, they'll never let me do this, their belief in themselves, the money. It's a way of asking questions to remove that to get to their emotional brain, because that's where people make decisions. It's their emotional brain. So if Casey, you said to me, Josh, I see you on social media, what are you doing? What's this program? Or you said, Josh, I know something about what you're doing. How much is the program? Whatever you say to me, my answer is always the same. Great, Casey. Can I ask you a few questions to see if this is for you? Can I ask you a few questions to see if this is right for you? You always ask them that, and it's never, ever, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, I never, ever, ever do this in messaging. It's always 100% on the phone. 100%, unless you are really good at enrolling people through PMs or texts. Otherwise, most people get into those endless emails. So, and we can post, I did a video on it for our team.
You can Google
Jackson Parr. Yeah, he's on YouTube, and you'll see, and there's a series of questions, and we go through it systematically. It's to build that bridge. Casey, what are your goals? What are your goals? What are your health goals? What are your financial goals? It's after we speak and we find out if someone's looking for better health or more money, and it's getting to that place where you remove the garbage, because you got to remove the garbage in their brain. And once they're at that vulnerable place, you get to their pain, you stay in that pain for a little bit, then it's more likely they're going to be much more open. So if I get down to those 7 or 8 or 9 questions, I say, so quick, Casey, if I could show you a way to stop working those 3 jobs so you can be home with your kids and keep the same income, if not more, are you open to learning more? I've never said one thing about isogenics. I've never told them about a shake or adaptogen or a network marketing company. I just listened to what you're looking for. I said, so Casey, if I could show you a way to drop those 35 pounds or make the extra $200 a week, are you open to learning more? She says yes. Great. When are you free? And I book a separate meeting, or if there's a time now, and then I go into the exposure, which is, let me show you what I think you may benefit from. Does that make sense?
That makes great sense.
All those questions, but just Google Jackson Parr.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've watched some of his stuff. I don't know how I missed that one.
It brings you to that know, like, and trust place. You've immediately brought them into your warm market now. They're now your friend. They've opened up to you. They're sharing their feelings. They're sharing their why, really, because we know that willpower doesn't work, why power does. And so when you get to that reason, that emotion, if they're saying no, they're saying no to themselves. I mean, in any way you slice it, when someone says no, they're saying no to themselves. They're not saying no to us. And we, with the cake recipe and with, just doing this over and over and over again, when we took out our attachment to the outcome, it got so easy. It got so easy, and they can feel that, and it's about them. It's not about us. It's not about what we have to say about our program. It's about what's in it for them. That's what everybody wants to know. Even if it's just very surface, like, I want to lose 20 pounds. Can this happen on that? And you're like, well, we're going to give you the tools to have your body work on that. And I have every confidence that you're going to have some success here. But it's about them. They just want to hear what they want to hear. So you got to ask them the questions to find out what they want to hear. Because half the time they don't know. And it's deep, and you got to go deep. It's
all questions. It's never presenting until you get you ask all those questions. So you build that bridge of trust, and then you can deliver. So that's what Eric Worre talks about. Build the bridge of trust. And Michael Klaus did this, I think, last year at NYKO. Yeah. So many people are presenting before I get to know you, before I get to know Joe or Stephanie. If I don't know about Stephanie, I could present something. She might not care about the money. She just wants to feel better and sleep and be able to get on the ground and play with her kids. Whereas someone else may, listen, I could care less about my health. I'm losing my house. So if we present to someone without asking those questions, number one, you're not going to connect with them. And number two, I'm probably going to give you something you don't want because it's what I think you want, which we're always wrong, almost always wrong.
I love that. I love that. Questions. I tell you what, we go to work to complicate it for ourselves. There's one more question. Outside of your chiropractic practice, how do you meet new people every day and connect with them? So like, how do you then transfer?
Everywhere. We go to restaurants, we go to libraries, we go to coffee, I go buy eggs, we go to the gym. When people say, I don't know, what is that?
Caleb's like, you go to the library?
Well, I used to go.
You know what I mean? It's a metaphor.
And when people say my list is running out, I don't. That doesn't comprehend for me. We like people and we talk to people and hey, how's it going? Or did you see that? Or do you buy these often? Because I don't even know what I'm supposed to get it. You just talk to people and your list grows. It doesn't mean you're going to say isogenics in that conversation. That's what people put these crazy, unrealistic expectations on themselves, or they're waiting. When am I going to say it? When am I going to say it? And it ruins the moment. As long as you get their info, you got to get their info and connect. And I love it because now instead of, we don't use cards. When people, you connect with them, say, listen, I got to run, but I'd love to get your info and talk to you more about this. Let me send you my business card. So I go in my phone, I find my profile and my contacts, and I say, type your number in here. So they type their cell phone, because I didn't say, can I have your phone number? I said, I'm going to send you my business card. Here, type your number in. They type their number in. Now I have their phone number. They just got my business card. Connection, right? Because a lot of people, let's face it, aren't on Facebook. So that tool, here, find your profile on Facebook, that's great. And we use it, but some people are not on Facebook. And actually more and more these days, they're not. They're on Instagram or some people don't use it. So it's just a great way, but connection is everywhere. You will meet people everywhere if you open up your eyes, take your face out of your phone, which we all do, and actually say hi to people. It's a connection.
Say hi, compliment.
Yeah, you just do your thing, but get out there and you can do it from the internet. You don't have to be out and about. I mean, what are we in 17 countries now? It's so great because you like motorcycles or I like cars. So I'm in a car group and I started posting about this great vintage car that I like. This hedge fund guy from New York, him and I have this great relationship now. I've never brought up isogenics yet. It's sometimes it happens on the first conversation, the seventh, it'll happen. The guy's miserable and doing what he believes. He's miserable. And for me, I used to think, oh, he'd never need it. He's a hedge fund guy. You should hear the things he's saying to me now. He's miserable. So it's everywhere. Get into a group. If you don't like horses, join a horse group. Doesn't matter. You just comment on someone's post. You start a rapport. That's all it is. It's actually not difficult. I'm not an expert at social media by any means. Confirm that.
And I said, say hello, say how are you? That's what, when I was working with a coach too. It was like, hey, how are you? How are you? Can change your life for sure. So, well, I just appreciate you guys so much. We'll definitely post that and we'll get this recording. So I know that we will see you guys at Celebration and just all the training that you guys have. And oh my gosh, you guys are absolute rock stars. So we appreciate your time.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, let's send the love to the Dunskys.
See you in Nashville.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. Night, everyone.
Thank you so much.